In today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly NBA rundown, man. This is a series where every single Sunday I come out, I take 3 or 4 topics from the week from the NBA season, and I talk to you guys about them, about what they're going on, my opinions on them, and just essentially, if you don't have the ability to, of course, watch every single game, just break down some of these games for you guys and talk to you about some hot teams, some bad teams, some interesting stories from the season so far, and so forth. So, if you are new, hit the subscribe button, man, and let's hop right into it. Now, if you have not seen, after losing to the Lakers on Friday, Ja Morant's coach, he was getting interviewed by one of the reporters, and they essentially asked him a couple of questions like, hey, what's going wrong on the court? What's going on with Ja? And he essentially said he has to be a better playmaker. He has to be a better leader. He has to be a better teammate. We just need more from him, man. And they went over to ask Ja Morant the same thing. Hey, what went wrong against the Lakers? What's going on with you guys? And Ja essentially said, go and ask the coaches about it, man. This, of course, he didn't say it, but it was essentially hinting at the fact that he thinks the coaches are a problem and that they're kind of holding them back, man, which I'm not going to say it's true because we have seen Ja Morant already get a coach fired that was like top 3 seed last year, but that does lead into something a little bit interesting when it comes to the Ja Morant situation, just because I think he's averaging near career low in minutes so far to start the season. Now, I think that's also a little bit because of the fact he had an ankle injury coming into the year and they wanted to try to slow roll him. The Grizzlies, as I'm recording this, are 3-3, so it's not like they're like 1-5 or they're like haven't won the game like the Pelicans have. But they haven't looked great with the Ja Morant minutes on the court. His usage is super high, man. Of course, he's still on a max contract, and I think he's averaging the least amount of points he's had since his rookie year, where he's only putting up 26-3 right now on 40% shooting. And that's led a lot of people to speculate that he maybe ended up getting traded from the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think that's going to happen like immediately or this season, but I do think there's a pretty decent chance that Ja Morant is going to be moved at some point by the Grizzlies. They moved off the Desmond Bane this offseason. We saw him get the coach fired last year for the simple fact that they were running the offense that he thought wasn't great for his ability, even though it was great for everyone else in that offense, man. Desmond Bane was having a career year. Jaren Jackson Jr. was having a career year, man. And they were the 3 seed in the West for most of the season before, of course, they collapsed near the end of there. But Ja was a big part of them getting the coach fired because he wasn't running the offense for him, man. I just feel like this is the end of the road for this kind of era of Memphis basketball where you had the Dillon Brooks team and you had them get rid of Dillon Brooks and then now they've got rid of Desmond Bane, man. And I just think Ja Morant's probably going to end up being the last domino for them to go into a full rebuild, which is understandable. You can use whatever you get in the Ja Morant trade. You can use the picks that you got from a Desmond Bane trade, man, and you could just restart this team that is kind of just lost right now. Like, they aren't going to be a top team in the West anytime soon. They have decent young players on the team with Jalen Wells, Cedric Howard. Like, they have a decent amount of young talent. And Ja Morant just feels like an odd man out in that situation, man. So let me know what you guys think about that. The second thing I want to talk about are some of these terrible NBA teams. This is going to be headlined by the New Orleans Pelicans. Like, you probably have seen a million videos going over the New Orleans Pelicans situation at this point. We all know they don't own their first round pick this year. They traded to Indiana back their first round pick at the end of like the finals for some reason when they could have just waited one game. But again, I'm not going to put too much dirt on them. There's no way they knew Tyrese Halliburton would have been tearing his ACL. They are essentially have not won a game so far this year. Zion Williamson looks solid, but everyone else looks pretty bad. Trey Murphy looks pretty bad. Herb Jones looks pretty bad. The rookie Jeremiah Fears actually looks really, really good, but the rookie they traded their first round pick for and Derek Queen does not look good at all, man. And this is just essentially a dumpster fire of a team. They're in the worst position you can be in basketball where you don't own your first round picks and then you also can't trade anybody for the simple fact that you do not own your first round pick. So if they want to do a fire sale, they can't. They're stuck in a terrible situation, and I pretty much don't know what to tell you when it comes to the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm a Hawks fan. I'm happy that we have their first round pick, but if you're a Pelicans fan, I only feel for you, man. And then right beside him, and that's going to be the Phoenix Suns, man. Again, another team that does not own their first round pick, and that's kind of going to be the theme of this season where you have these bad teams who traded first rounders for players, of course, in the Phoenix Suns and their predicament. They traded for Kevin Durant. That situation goes down terribly. Kevin Durant gets traded this all season, and they don't end up getting any of their first round picks back from the Houston Rockets, which I still think is absurd. If I remember correctly, they didn't get any of their own first round picks back, which yeah. But the Phoenix Suns, as I'm recording this, are 2-4. Jalen Green, who they traded for in the Kevin Durant trade, has missed a couple of games. They don't look good. The West looks as deep as we thought it would be, and they're in a similar predicament to where the Pelicans, to where their roster is not great. And there's teams in the West that weren't in the play-in last year that are just going to be better than them this year. The Trailblazers, as I'm recording this, are 4-2. They look really good. The defense looks great. Drew Holiday looks great. That's one team that wasn't in the play-in last year that now is going to be in the play-in, which is only going to bump the Suns down even further, man. And I don't, again, know what you do if you're the Phoenix Suns. You don't own your first-round picks. You don't want to tank for the simple fact that you don't own your first-round picks. You have Jalen Green and Devin Booker on 2 huge contracts, man. The one tradable piece that you have in Dillon Brooks, you theoretically want to keep for the simple fact that you don't have anything else to trade, and you're just stuck in this purgatory of, I'm not good enough to actually win games, but I'm also not bad enough to get top picks because I don't have my picks, man. And the last thing I want to talk about is going to be the Brooklyn Nets. They're just a dumpster fire at this point. The Brooklyn Nets look absolutely terrible so far this year, which we expected from them. They drafted 5 rookies last year, and only like one of those rookies look somewhat decent. Now, again, they are rookies, so we're going to give them a little bit of time to play and adjust themselves. The Toronto Raptors, if you haven't seen, don't look that great either. But again, nobody really expecting anything from them coming into this season, man. And one more thing I want to talk about before I get into my MVP ladder is going to be the Atlanta Hawks, just for the simple fact, it came out yesterday that Trae Young will be missing at least a month of the NBA season. Now, if you do not know, the Hawks owe their picks to the San Antonio Spurs. Can you imagine the uproar if the San Antonio Spurs end up with another top 10 pick? Now, I don't think the Hawks are going to be that bad in Trae Young's absence, man. Jalen Johnson in the one game that Trae missed so far this year looked really good. Nall looked good starting, which I would think was a great addition. Again, Nall just giving the Hawks somebody who can just back up. Trae was great. Porzingis has looked solid. I do think Porzingis should be on the bench for Onyeka Okongwu. If you don't know how good Onyeka Okongwu is, you should really check out Hawks games, man. But Onyeka has just straight up been better than Porzingis this year, and if you've seen anything from last year, you could have seen that coming. But again, this Hawks team is good enough to kind of weather the storm. As a Hawks fan, I am a little bit worried about the simple fact that Trae Young means so much to the offense, and a lot of people don't understand that when they don't watch Hawks games, but he essentially is the offense for a large part of these games, man. And I'm going to be interested to see how they played. Again, we do owe the Spurs our first rounder this year. I don't think we're going to be bad enough to be in the lottery. We're going to at least make the play-in even without Trae Young for a while, man. But let's get into the MVP ladder. So every week I want to update this MVP ladder with the 5 players that I think are in the MVP race, and I want to kind of give you an order. Now everyone is going to agree on this order, of course, but my number 1 right now is Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. He has the Bucks winning games as I'm currently recording this, and he's averaging 34, 13, 7 on 68% shooting, man. Again, he's averaging 34 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists on 68% shooting. Giannis is a bad man, bro. My next on my list, of course, you're probably going to be able to predict this, is going to be Victor Wembanyama, man. He is putting up 30, 14, and 3 on 56% shooting, and he's averaging over 6 stocks a game, which, of course, is blocks and steals. Now, the reason I have Giannis slightly above him is just for the simple fact I do think Giannis has a worse roster. Now, he is in a worse conference, which you can argue 100%. I'm not going to fight you on, but I do think Giannis has a worse roster. He's putting up a little bit more assists, a little bit more points, but the defensive impact of Victor is just insane. You can have either 1A, or 1B. I'm not going to fight you on it, man, but I have Victor number 2 right now. And then number 3, and then I don't even know how you can put this guy number 3. As I'm currently recording this, Luka Doncic is averaging 45 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists on 58% shooting from the field. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. 45 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists on 58% shooting from the field. That's your number 3 right now I have inside of the play in terms of this ranking, man. That should tell you how crazy the season has been. Luka has missed a couple of games, man, so I do have to penalize that against him, but come on, what do you do about that? Like, what do you do about that? My number 4 is going to be last year's MVP, man. That's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's putting up 35, 6, and 6 on 52% shooting right now, which in any other year would be an insane start. But again, when you have the alien and Wembanyama and like, I don't even know what Giannis is at this point, and then Luka Doncic doing what he's doing, I do have Shai number 4. Now, my number 5 is going to be a little bit surprising for some of you guys, but I do actually want to give this dude a little bit of praise because I haven't seen anyone talking about how good he's been so far this year. And of course, just naturally, most of you guys would think that I would put Jokic here. But again, this isn't a list of players I think who's better than who's this good, who's that good, man. This is just who I think would be in the lead for the MVP right now. My boy Tyrese Maxey is putting up 35, 6, and 9 on 46% from the field and 47% from three-point range, man. So again, if you want to have Nikola Jokic there, I'm not going to fight you on it, man. But Tyrese Maxey, and again, the 76ers, as I'm recording this, are 2 seed, man. So it's not like we got a lot of season to go. We do, but Yeah, Tyrese Maxey would be my number 5. Jokic would be my number 6, and then Julius Randle wouldn't be on this list. But I actually want to give Drew some love, man. He's putting up a really good stats without Anthony Edwards and keeping those Timberwolves in games. But that's today's video, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.